Hey, y'all, you're listening to the Chicken Fried Women podcast with me, your host, Melissa Radke, the original recipe. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the Chicken Fried Women podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Radke. I need to let you know what you're about to watch or listen to on this week's episode, on today's episode. Y'all, we decided to have lunch together, me and my Chicken Fried Women. They came over to my house and I heated up some leftovers. I don't even like leftovers, but we love chicken spaghetti. So I had some chicken spaghetti and it was rainy outside. And my mom's like, I want to come over and tell you about my New York trip, Melissa, but I need you to feed me because I ain't got no groceries because they'd been traveling. Well, guess what, Mother? I've been traveling too, but I had made some chicken spaghetti. I heated it up, gave it out to the girls. We sat around the table, me, my Aunt Melba, my mama, and Remi, and we just talked. You know, some of my favorite podcasts are those where it's a group of people, a group of friends, and they're just talking. I hope when you watch this, you just feel like you're at the table with us. But if you hear slurping, just know that's not me. That's my Aunt Melba. And it's chicken spaghetti. And you're probably jealous. We had a great time. This is all about our trip to Nashville, my mother's trip to New York City. And here we go. Even though we're eating, anybody want to pray?
I do.
Okay, go.
We're thankful for this food, blessed to nourishment, serve bodies, and our bodies always in your service. Amen.
Okay, I want to hear about New York for sure, but
I want to hear about it too.
before New York, I have to hear the story of what happened, Melba, at the airport.
Why? I want to hear about it.
Because it involves Michelle, and I want to hear it. So, you know, when we left Nashville, they went one way and I went another. I flew to Minneapolis. They flew to Houston. Something happened with Michelle and security, and I have to hear about it.
I need to hear about that too.
Well, first of all, Michelle was overweight on her luggage
I was going to say, please don't put a long pause.
on the trip there. And because she was overweight on her luggage, she had to open it up in the airport, take things out, and give them to us.
Not 2 pounds. Not 2 pounds. 6 pounds overweight in her luggage. That's when you start putting clothes on, you know, you take them. That actually would have been a great idea.
No, but no, to carry her
Instead of
lotions and potions is what I call.
Instead, me and Melba had to help her carry stuff through the airport.
And I traveled a lot because I don't want to carry a bunch of stuff through the airport, but I had to carry. So that was on the way there. So on the way back, she kept buying stuff while we were in Nashville. She bought hoodies and she bought rompers and she bought all this stuff.
Rompers for herself?
And I was like, I kept saying, I kept saying, Michelle, where are you going to put that? Where are you going to put that? Well,
And she never did give us an answer because she didn't know.
because she had no idea. So we get to the airport. They weigh her. Okay, what she's done, let me tell you what she's done. I couldn't figure it out at first because when she would pick up that backpack and put it on her back, it looked like she was falling with it. And what she had done was she had taken those makeup bags of lotions and potions and put them in your carry-on bag that you gave her to bring back. So she would have another bag and this backpack. So she had transferred the weight to her body stuff. And I had her seatbelt. Here I go through the thing carrying her seatbelt.
Well, if you're carrying her seatbelt machine, you're carrying the least amount of weight.
But I had taken on 8 garments of hers.
No.
And I was the 8. No, 8. I counted them when I put them in that sack.
Oh, my Lord.
8 garments. And what was the other thing?
The cut?
That was just in my car. Your big cut.
Oh.
So 8 garments she had put in my bag because my bag was way underweight. Because I don't carry all that crap.
Those are so tiny and petite.
No, I don't carry all those lotions and potions. I've never
She likes to wear the same thing every day and be stinky.
No, I don't.
No, she never.
No, I didn't. But anyway, so she was transferring the weight to those bags that you carry them. That's what she was doing. So her bag was right on the dot. The weight, oh, really? Right on the dot. So she got it. She got through, and I was thinking, oh, this is wonderful. This is going to be great. And all I had was her seatbelt because I wanted to watch her with those bags. And she kept on the way there, she kept dropping her luggage. Her luggage would just fall over. And so she'd have to lean over to get her luggage. Awful. It was terrible. It was terrible, but it was, funny. So we get through the wait and we get to the security checkout. So I go through the line. I just go through, just no problem. All I had literally in my bag was my boots, my purse, and that's it. I'd already put my bag up and I didn't have any carry-ons. Oh, I put her CPAP in my bin. So I go through, everything's fine. She goes through and she didn't come out behind me. I was like,
She goes through and she didn't come out.
she goes through, but she doesn't come out the other side. So we wait and we wait. I had to sit. Oh, she finally comes out and she brought me her backpack and that big bag.
And that was a big bag.
Big bag. And it was full. And she brought it to me and she said, you're going to have to sit with this. I've got to wait for. Oh, no, she brought the backpack and the CPAP. I have the CPAP. And she said, I've got to wait for that blue bag to be run through TSA. They're checking it. And I said, just randomly? And she said, yeah, but it's behind like 8 other bags.
Oh, no.
So we waited 30 minutes until they checked her bag. The girl called her over there and she walked over there and she said, are you aware that you can't carry full-size bottles of liquid in your bag?
What? Full-size bottles? Did she
transferred all full-size bottles? Honey, you didn't see all those on the cabinets?
But surely she didn't have put that in a check-on bag.
She put all those in that blue bag, and that blue bag wouldn't go through.
Oh my gosh.
They escorted her, a TSA officer escorted her back to the very beginning.
No.
With another 30, 45 minutes.
Why to the very
back there real early.
I don't know.
They took her back so they could check that. They had to check that bag as a second.
Oh, they had to we had to go on the plane.
And it didn't cost her anything. She could have done that from the get-go. But we didn't know that.
Michelle.
So
I love her.
So then we get to a restaurant and we're going to order something light to eat just before we get on the plane. And she said, I don't have a credit card. I don't know. I think it's in my other bag. And I said, your credit card? And she said, yeah, it's not. I don't know where it's at. Well, so we go to eat and then we go to get on the plane. We get on the plane and it's hilarious watching her find her places to put everything. So she also did shopping in the airport and got other stuff. So she had a white bag, a backpack, and she had gotten rid of the blue bag because she had to check it. And I had her CPAP.
Yeah, she made her look like Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing.
But she didn't have a credit card. But she didn't have a credit card. Wait, how did she get that?
Yeah, she must have had cash on her. I don't know. I didn't ask questions.
Get my restaurant though.
So we go to do that. We didn't find out until after she got back. She texted on Monday and said, well, I left my credit card at Carrabba where we had dinner the night before.
I know.
So she had to cancel her card and cut it up.
Bless her heart.
Watching her walk away with that TSA officer I called. And I'll never see her again. I didn't know where they're taking her.
Now, I'm going to tell you something about Nashville. Our trip was great. I think y'all were my guests. Did y'all have fun?
Oh, we had a great time.
We love Nashville. The weather was great.
That's what you said.
The very first day we got to Franklin, they were having the Main Street Fair down Franklin.
It was so cute.
Now, Melba and I are too tired to go. We've been walking through an airport. We're exhausted. But guess who will? Marshall.
Only because she saw on the sign, it said they were having funnel cakes.
And she said, but then she didn't get a funnel cake because it was $32. But she came back with a bag of funnel corn. No, I'm not kidding. That day.
But the funnel cakes were $32.
$32.
Well, are you sorry? She must have read that. Well, that's what I said too. I said, you got to be mistaken. She said, no, they told the girl ahead of
This is Franklin, Tennessee. I imagine they were $32. We had a good time. For me, it was a very busy week. Yeah. And on one particular day, I had a little bit of a breakdown when you were putting on lights up in the car. Yeah. And driving. And I made a new friend while we were there. And I thought it was sweet. When I had my emotional breakdown in a stairwell at an apartment complex and I started crying, my new friend Crystal came in and was like, she put her arm around me and she was like, hey, we're going to do whatever you want to do. And she was just really sweet. And she was there because she was supposed to be on a podcast with me.
What was this?
At an Airbnb in downtown Nashville. And then she walks out of the stairwell and Melba goes, now that's the kind of friend you want to have on your team right there. That's the kind of friend. And she was very, very sweet.
She was precious.
But it was a lot one particular day. And so we were
and her in the stairwell bawling.
How dramatic is that?
Yeah. Like,
it was a lot.
Why the stairway? So when I went in there to put that thing back together and everything, we sent you the pictures so that.
Let me guess, you had zero problem.
No problem. I slammed that thing against the stairwell and it came open. Popped right up.
I'm not, when you do an Airbnb, you go into a stairwell at the apartment complex and it's just lock after lock after lock. I mean, like 100 locks. And you have to find your master lock, get it open, get the key out for the apartment. I'm not doing an Airbnb.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not doing it. There was Cheeto fingerprints on the comforter. Oh, yes. Ask her. Yes, there was. It looked like somebody had eaten brownie dough in the bed on my side, which I would have liked to have been me, but someone beat me. David's behind the camera. David just
That is not how it's meant.
Anyway, that night that I had the breakdown, we were supposed to go meet my Still Magnolias there in Nashville for dinner. And we were all so flustered from the day. It was just such a crazy day.
And because we couldn't get in the Airbnb, everything ran behind. So we ran into the town.
We get in the car to go meet my girlfriends. And we're backing out. We pull out to go downtown. I'm following the GPS. And all of a sudden, Melba, and I look in the back, and this is seriously, I'm not making fun. Like I felt for her. She went like this. She went, I don't want to go. she was, I don't want to go. I'm exhausted. This day has been terrible and I don't want to go. And I went, I don't want to go either. And they're my best friends. I had to call them and cancel on them. I couldn't do it. I physically couldn't give anything else that day. And the three of us went and had the best meal we had probably all week.
It was my favorite.
And we sat at the table like this.
We did. We were just like,
and then every once in a while we would talk and we would crack each other up. But it was nice to just do nothing. But that was Nashville. I want to know about New York.
well, I can't top that.
Yes, you can. I want to know how you walked all over New York.
Did you get one of those buggies in the airport?
Yeah.
What do you call them?
You hired them. Didn't you just get someone to bike you around?
No.
When we were in New York and we thought it was going to be $15 and he said 50. She went to charge him 15 and it was 50.
What it was.
Where the men bike you and you sit in a little two-person car.
It was literally,
He probably said
Like a rickshaw?
Yeah, he probably said 15 to her. And then when I crawled in, he's like, make it. Hey, did you know that the Chicken Fried Women podcast is being brought to you by my new book, Chicken Fried Women? I have a question for you. Have you ordered it yet? Go to Amazon.com or wherever you buy books and order one for you and your bestie and your mom and your college roommate. You get what I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Oh, no. Seriously, though. How was it?
From the time I got
on the plane, I could tell I was getting a sinus infection. Oh, my Lord. I thought, oh, this is going to be, because sometimes I'd give you a headache on the plane, you know, but it didn't give me a headache, but I was miserable with that on the very get-go. But no, we didn't have any trouble finding anything because Mallory had it down to a.
She knows her way around.
She does. She sure does.
Molly was, but Mama, there's no way you walked that every day.
We took an Uber if it was a lot longer than a mile and a half. I told you once that I just can't.
You walk, come on.
Oh, yes.
Because she's saying that because she wasn't able to in New York.
I can walk in a mile and a half in my sleep. I'm not able to. I don't want to.
She was in better shape than me and Michelle both. Of course, I'm getting over knee surgery, but
But I did good. I don't know.
she,
Of course, she's in good shape. You know,
I was really proud of her. Well, not the stress, but she can handle the walking.
So I didn't handle anything emotional. So politically, I'm actually on top of things.
Well, the thing with Mallory was she, like I said, she knew where she was going and she knew that kind of stuff. But Mallory would say, you know, we would get to where we were going or whatever, and she'd say, "Did y'all see that little coffee shop out there? It's not very far. It's just, you know, right there." And she'd want to go back to that coffee shop. Well, to her, that was nothing because you could almost see it from where we were. But for me, it was. But she knows every coffee shop and every donut shop on that side of Manhattan.
I do not know how that child doesn't weigh 400 pounds.
She doesn't, but she has stuff all like that on her plates when she shows pictures of it that I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
She must
She was a foodie.
She must eat a lot of. I told her she should be a food critic.
Don't tell her that because that would mean she'd have to go in places she.
no, see, she should go in with the notepad and stuff and make it look like she's there to be food critic, and they'll treat her really great with service.
Oh, you think?
I think she's a foodie, and I think that that's why she likes living in the big cities like Houston and Dallas, because she's a foodie.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of that food. Does she eat cultural stuff? Because a lot of it I've never even.
Yeah.
She does.
I don't even know what it is.
She'll try just about anything.
Let's see.
There's no way that y'all went on a trip and something didn't happen. Dad forgot something. Dad left his phone. So tell me that story.
Don't even feed Poppy to the bed every time.
Nothing pair of readers. Did y'all read between the two of you?
Actually, we didn't do any of that. We didn't forget anything.
He never lost his phone or his credit card?
No way. I never thought.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we didn't ask her that question. Let's ask her that.
We argued and picked at each other, you know, but we never lost anything, really. Our hotel was very, very nice.
What'd you stay in? You stay in the Wall Street Hotel?
Yeah, it's called the Wall Street Hotel.
The Wall Street?
And it was very, very nice. The rooms were a little small.
Yeah.
But it was very nice. Of course, you know, everything.
Look, Wall Street, the Wall Street stuff. Did you remember?
Your old boyfriend?
Yeah.
You need to let him go.
No, it was not like that. It was not like that. Don't cut that.
Okay, when we went to New York last year,
He wanted me to take a picture with like this bowl and like all this stuff.
the Wall Street side, I could have told you the relationship was not going to last when all she brought him back was a keychain that said, "I love my car."
And he brought me back a clipper.
First. Yeah. But she brought him back a keychain that said, "I love my car." He was using it. I thought to even use it. That is so sad.
That's what you put it on. He used it.
He could be watching this.
No, we were saying good stuff about him.
So anyway, but y'all stayed all three in the same room?
Yeah.
And Mallory had her own room.
No, we all stayed in the same room. We ate some good places.
What was your favorite place to eat?
Yeah. The last night we were there, we ate at a Mexican place. Their Mexicans not like our Mexicans.
No, they were still couldn't possibly.
They, you know what, Melissa, they had as an appetizer, you know, the corn, sweet corn, yes. So they sliced that kernel like a watermelon off the cob. Yeah, and everybody, and they had that stuff out over all of them, and you just picked it up and kind of, she was like, good? It was very good. Told Jamie, I said, I need to try that.
Now, did y'all eat in Chinatown?
No, and I will eat too.
No Chinese food while you were
No.
there? Oh, that's the best.
No.
We had good ice cream.
Yeah, we had great Chinese food. We went downtown to Chinatown and
Story. While mom was trying to find fake purses and stuff, because we love to like just how look at that kind of stuff. She was talking to someone, so I was on the side waiting for her. And it was like at night downtown in like Chinatown, and these two guys were like trying to sell these fake AirPods and stuff. And one of them asked me to just hold it for him, and so I was sitting there. I'm sitting there just holding the AirPods for him while he's trying to sell it to other people.
he goes, these two guys are camping out trying to sell their
They
stuff.
were so
This
nice.
woman is trying to sell fake purses. And I'm like, oh, I got you, lady. I tell her what I'm looking for.
She's talking to her while they're talking.
And they, and but meantime, Remi's just standing there. One of the guys goes like this, hey, can you hold these for me? And Remi goes, okay.
There was even now. Well, he was holding it with his hands, but now that he's holding, like he definitely stole those.
Yes,
But no, freshly packaged AirPods and stuff. And he was like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." I was literally like, they were like asking me, "What's your name?" I was like, "Jessica." Like, I was like, "Where are you from?" Or they were like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Kansas." Like, I was lying.
Would you really?
Yes, I lied about everything.
That doesn't matter when they throw you in the back of a van.
Remember when we went to the back of the van for those sunglasses, though?
Remi, shut up. This guy opened the back of his van and said, there's sunglasses in here if you want some. I said, come on, Remi. He was crawling in the back of his white van to pick out sunglasses.
Found cute ones.
Okay.
She's ahead of laws.
I'm fixing to call the Popo.
Yes, Tony.
That's terrible. Another name up my grandbaby and my daughter, and nobody's going to object to what I'm doing. They can't take this on.
I was.
Oh my gosh, they can't take this on. Why would you get in the van of anybody?
And then ushered me in there.
Please film this for Instagram. Please. This moment.
Oh,
Gosh, Melissa, what?
I've got a dumb question about that.
Okay.
Are they selling, are those illegal?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, kind of. That's why they hide it.
the policemen walk down there all the time.
I took a picture of it too. Policeman, though.
That's not true. I mean, people are digging through bins looking for sunglasses, and there's New York City cops.
So it's not
No,
for
it
them to
is.
sell them.
It is because that's why he had him in his van. He was like,
No, Remi.
That's what I was
He
being
literally
said.
was
Why
like
do
this.
you have to go into a van?
he came up to me.
Because he's got a bin full of sunglasses you
Yep.
can dig through. But in the van are the Chanel with 2 N sunglasses and Gucci with 1 eye.
They looked just alike. But if you'd let me say,
Say it. Say
he
it.
kept interrupting me. He literally we were walking across the street and we were like, this whole time, we can't find anyone with fake purses, fake sunglasses, stuff like that. We were literally having that problem because it is illegal. Yes. And,
The purses for sure.
yeah. And so he walked up to us and he was just like, "Do y'all want to come into my van for some fake sunglasses?" And she was like, "Yeah, let's go." And so we marched on over there and I got 2 fake sunglasses and so did she.
David, it's not too late.
To what?
He wasn't there with us.
No, it's not too.
We were with Rashana and like Adeline and like Hannah.
Let me tell you something. I have watched so many SVUs. I have a plan. I have a plan if something were to happen. I know exactly what to do.
Yeah, sing to him. Look,
Anyway, I have to ask myself if these things are illegal and selling those purses. Like at one point, she opened her coat, and that's where the menu was for
Yeah.
what kind of purse you want. You know, you see in the movies, like they open it and they've got watches.
Dig through the hair to see.
Yeah, she opens it, but and I said, "Well, not that purse right there." And then she says, "Okay," and she closes it, and then she walks 2 blocks to a van, and gets the purse out and comes back.
Hey,
She was like, "I'll be right back."
no, they did that and left it. I went in the store down.
No, but it's like people with missing teeth and stuff that walk up to you.
We're on Lufkin.
Yeah.
No,
With like half their, they're like, did you like some half that hair and missing?
I mean, if it's illegal, how are they doing?
Because I think in New York, I have to think in New York, they have to be like, we got bigger fish to fry than to worry about that grandma that's selling fake. It has to be that. They know people are doing it.
Yeah, but it's like, who would they arrest? The person buying or the person selling? Or both?
Person selling. Because technically you haven't bought it yet if they catch you before you buy it.
You say that really matter of factly, but you don't know. We don't know for
No,
sure.
that is true.
I gotta make you know that. Because when we left New York, I rolled down my window as we were driving. Our Uber was driving us out from downtown, and I rolled down my window. I went, "Bye-bye, New York. I will never see you again. I don't have any desire."
I loved it.
Go back
And
to
we
New
did see it again though.
No, the last time that was when I said it.
I love
Do you
it.
have any desire to go back?
yeah, I would.
Really? I was really. Did you go to Broadway? Did you go see a show? Girl, I'm really sad about that.
I know. If we'd had more time, I would have. But
What y'all go do at night?
well, we were exhausted, every night. But because we would walk so much, and we went to. I'm trying to think if trying to remember the order we went in, but we went to the big garden. What am I trying to say? Central Park.
Oh,
That's
Central
a lot of
Park.
walking.
And it was beautiful. And we sat there,
do you think about
watch the dog. Yes, watch the dog walkers and watch people, and had a sandwich or something. And then we went to a Ralph Lauren store that was like right close. And of course, I didn't get anything in there, but Jean and Mallory got shirts. Well, Mallory got a hoodie. What can I say? It's going to be a hoodie.
Even if it's 70, it's 112 outside. It's going to be in the.
Oh, it's going to be a hoodie, and she don't wear it, even if it's 112. And they're throwing us over. But then we just kind of did what we wanted to do as far as if we got hungry, it was 3 in the afternoon, we went and grabbed something, We didn't do a lot of fancy eating. That last place was very nice.
I don't believe for a second. I don't believe for a second my daddy went to New York City and did it. I'm sorry.
he didn't go eat off food trucks?
Yeah, my daddy didn't eat off no food truck. He had some fancy eating. Now, you might not have been with him. Your daughter is a foodie and your husband is a snobby. So we know they ain't good.
He's not a snob though. There's a difference.
I mean about like triangle and stuff. Yeah.
Like Valerie would say, I picked out these that are in our area. They're fine dining or whatever. And y'all can pick out of them, whatever you want. And he would make the final selection. If we could have said anything.
And so their Mexican food was good.
It was very good, but it was very different.
Yeah.
It was a lot like Hugo's in Houston.
I don't
It's more South American cooking.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't prefer that.
See, you're not used to it. You weren't raised on it, and I don't either. I mean, that's not my favorite either. But in this case, it was a good choice because the food was good. Mallory got, is it carnitas?
Yeah.
Like those round things that
She
she
is-
showed, because that's what I didn't know what it was.
It was so good.
This big.
And we shared it, all 3 of us. We got stuff. But
I told you there would be slurping. I was feeding the dog from the table while we were talking, but this is what we do. We eat, we laugh, we catch up. You just spent a lunchtime with me and the Chicken Fried Women. I hope you enjoyed it. There's more content like that to come. I love you. Till next time. Thanks so much for being here today, where we get to talk about our friendships and our kinships and the stories that made us this way. Till next time.